So, 3?
Or do you want to do like 1, 2,
2,
3, or
1,
or
go.
Hey guys, how are you? I'm Eric.
And I'm Dan.
Welcome to another fucked up show of Chasing Shadows.
Yes, this is our take 2 at this show. Since we did this complete show last night, it was a good, hour, 30 minutes plus?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, I went to go upload the show last night, and there was only 24 minutes of it. So, we said, well, let's just do the whole fucking show again.
So, we're gonna just try to keep this at an hour. But really quick, tonight's show is all about EVPs. And these are EVPs that both Dan and us, me, my wife, and the group, and through the years have collaborated together. And these are some pretty good ones.
And for those that don't know, EVP stands for Electronic Voice Phenomena. Now, I'm not going to do what those annoying TV shows do and explain it every friggin' time they say EVP, and they go through a whole explanation. It used to annoy the shit out of me.
But EVP stands for Electric Voice Phenomena.
Yeah, thanks.
You're welcome. I used to love that show, Ghost Lab. I'm getting really sidetracked, but they had big EVPs, and it was Mike Rowe that used to do all the back voices for him. It was so cool.
Oh, yeah?
The show was pretty good, but they didn't last very long because there was just too many of those shows. So,
yeah.
That's that for that. So, now we're not getting sidetracked. We're going to actually play a couple of different EVPs.
We're going to go right into it?
Yeah, let's go right into it.
All right.
And then we can talk and laugh in between. So that way we
what about story time? We had quite a bit of story time.
I'll set the mood with this one.
Oh.
So Moses Dunbar.
Well, we kind of went through and we had kind of a whole pre-conversation before we got into it.
I know. But we'll save that other conversation for another time.
Fair enough.
I'll just drop a little bit of that story so we kind of have an idea.
Okay.
We started creating investigations through this group in 2007. We wanted to try to debunk a lot of these other terrible EVPs that you hear on the TV that sounds like static and crackle. We are very diligent about going through our EVPs. We absolutely will throw it out if we think it's anybody in the group or a person. Yeah. So that's really, really important.
And it really only takes one of us to question it, and we'll say, all right, we're not going to use it then.
Right.
Pretty much we all have to agree that there's something there. We may not be able to understand exactly what it says, but there's something there.
And just so you know, Class AVP isn't really what like Ghost Adventures say. I mean, they say, oh, that's a Class EVP, excuse me. There shouldn't be any doubt or question in your mind when it's being said. It should be so clear that you go, that definitely says hello, or something along those lines. So there's only one, there's probably a couple that I would put as a Class A EVP, only because, I would say a B plus anyway, because they're so loud. But some of these sound different to everybody who listens to them too, which is interesting. And when we get to that one, I'll set the story for that. But what I'd like to do now is take you on a little journey to Bristol, Connecticut, to this very little
field trip.
Field trip, yay! To this beautiful little house that was built in the early 1700s. And this house was in this one family for probably 60 years. And we were invited in because this woman used to take care of children. It was kind of like a private daycare. They had friends and family that would drop their children off. So what happened was these kids would come in and they said to the woman, we really like the older man and little girl. And she says, well, you must mean my husband. She goes, no, the little girl and the older man standing there now.
That sounds kind of creepy.
It was creepy. And
old man, little girl.
Yeah.
That's a.
Well, no, I don't mean like that. Yeah,
okay.
No.
I just want to be sure here.
No.
We're not getting into some
no.
bad territory.
None of that.
Okay, good.
But the weird thing is this happened over and over and over again. To finally they got a hold of one of the people who started the group with us, and we decided to go in. So the guy was believed to be Moses Dunbar. Now here's the interesting thing. Moses Dunbar was the very first civilian to ever be hung for treason in the United States.
Okay, you're not talking about Moses? Moses with the Ten Commandments?
No, this is Moses Dunbar, like the Dunbar, money trucks.
Oh, yes, I gotcha.
Yeah, we didn't find no money. No money. But we did find some really cool EVPs. Now what I want to tell you is, he was hung for treason simply because he believed in his original homeland church, which was the Church of England. And his father and brother-in-law actually turned him in because he didn't change his religion when he came to the United States.
Cold.
Yeah. So just imagine what the Freedom of Religion Act kind of could have done for this guy now. So this guy was hung simply for believing in God in his own ways. He actually was the first guy who started the Tories, which were the Tory Dems.
The political system party, whatever.
Well,
Yeah.
that's kind of where stuff really kind of started to fall from, because political back then was of church and government, and because we were a new colony that broke free from there, they wanted to start everything fresh. So this guy started to do these little actual church services, exactly what you would see in a church, but in little caves and little huts and little places and barns and everywhere else they could go. So with that being said, we went in, we set up our voice recorders, and we left the house for a little while because we weren't really getting too much while we were there. We would get a couple noises and a couple of things. We said, let's go get some coffee, and we had some smokers at the time, and they went outside. So we were gone for about an hour. Voice recorders going, and these were some of the EVPs that we got. Remind you, this was an empty house at this time. Now it sounds weird, but it sounds almost like a draw, like a "tain't gonna help you" or "ain't gonna help you," but it sounds.
Hopefully, and we did some testing, but hopefully that comes out on the the audio halfway decent.
Yeah, we're still going through.
It was a nightmare
pains.
getting this shit all set up.
Absolutely. So let's run this just 2 more times because it's a short one.
Yeah.
So when we got this back, this was also in a long stream of other ones. You're going to hear another one that I'll play. You'll hear those old metal door latches like you had in the farmhouses. I've got one on my woodshed where I do my woodworking and stuff. It's just an old latch. You press down on one thumb and it would lift up this lever which would unlatch the door. And you're going to hear that. I don't know if you're going to hear footsteps. But then there is, let me see, let me get to the right one because I want to queue up the right one for you. Yeah, where can I find that one, right? Well, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll go on to this next one here. Let me set the story for this one. This is one that we said is kind of like a Class A EVP. This happened when an interview was going on between my wife's cousin Brandy, who was in the group when we first started out, and she went to go interview her friend who asked her quite simply, she says, I heard you're in a paranormal group. She goes, yeah. She goes, well, would you come and visit me? The girl's name is Stacy. I won't say the last name. But Stacy used to be a bartender at a gentleman's club, a strip club for adult entertainment. And she was closing up one night, and she went into the men's room, cleaned it all out, made sure that everybody was out, and she went to the ladies' room because she also had to clean the ladies' room. When she got out of this stall, she came out and she saw this woman in a Victorian outfit, and she thought it might have been one of the girls they didn't change, from whatever they were dancing or whatever. And she's like, I'm sorry, but we're closing up. And the woman just almost stared through her, and her words were, "You're next."
That's pretty creepy.
So she went flying out of there. This woman disappeared in front of her face, and she just made a beeline, locked the door, and went home.
I don't want to disappoint anybody. That's not the EVP that we're talking about.
No,
that's just the setup.
No. That's the setup.
Yeah.
So when she got home, she said stuff was happening in her house, and this was during the investigation. Now you're going to notice in this, the two girls that are talking don't notice this happens. But
they don't hear this other voice.
Loud.
It's very loud, yeah.
But we still can't decipher exactly what it says, so it's not a Class A. I would say a loud C, C plus B, maybe. But it sounds different to everyone.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to play it, and we're going to hear what this sounds like, and we'll go from there. All right, this one's a little bit quieter, so let me see if I can get this mic closer here. Hold on one second. All right, let's try.
Is the volume up all the way?
I think so. I just think that this was a bad, you know what I mean? It was these are off the old recorders, and the new ones are so much better. So I do apologize, but I'm going to try to boost this up as loud as I can. All right, here we go. Now backwards.
It's important to point out that they did not hear this.
No, and
while
this
they were there.
this when you have the headphones on is blaring loud.
Yeah.
But they did not hear it, and what I did was I was trying to figure out what it said. My wife says it says Brandy. I said it sounded almost like a name like Weingart, which nobody else hears. Danny, you said you heard what?
I didn't hear anything in particular, but I thought it could have been like Stacy, like a Stacy.
Yeah, which it could have been.
I can't make anything out for certain.
But that's the weird thing, and Dan brought up a great point. We kind of all hear at different levels. Now that I'm
Yeah.
older, I hear it at different decibel.
And the thing that we talked about is that thing going around the internet with the Laurel and Yanny.
Mhm.
We heard two different things. We're hearing things on different ends of the frequencies.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
So it's really strange when we get into like what's real and what's not. What's real to somebody can be completely different to somebody else.
Yeah, exactly.
It's really our experiences are really our experiences. It's just
You know, the funny thing is too is when we're out investigating, you know, we do a little bit now. You know, okay, let's listen back and this and that. But for the most part, we always have one recorder going all the time. So the second we step out of the car and we enter the building, one recorder is going all the time. And then we take personal recorders and then we go from there. So then that way we can see if something's being said as well, wherever we are. But there's a lot of times, you know, with EVPs, as you know, you can spend hours and hours at a place trying to get 2.5 seconds of gold. And it really is, a lot of times, as we feel, being at the right place at the right time. However, then you have stuff that is a little more determined to try to make contact with you, which is something that I'm going to get to that file, and I'm going to have this gentleman next to me explain a little bit about this here. So, let me get back to where we are. Why don't we go ahead and set up for explain a little bit about the ambulance part, a little bit about that.
which part.
The part, just kind of going a little bit of the background why we were called in, and
You're more versed in that than I am. Because I wasn't even there for the first one.
we were called into this place. Were voices being heard. There were doors closing, footsteps. There was some people say that they felt like they were being touched while they slept there. So we went in. We've done some work with these people before for Firehouse, and they're just great people. New Hartford Ambulance Service, Volunteer Service, and Pine Meadow. Great people. Again, these guys are all volunteers. They're doing this stuff out of the goodness of their heart, which makes going in there and trying to help them out a little bit easier and a little bit better, you know. So with that being said, we got called in and we decided to go in and see what we can find for them. And we were there for maybe, 30, 40 minutes. You guys went downstairs, and this was some of the stuff that was taken in.
Which one are you going to right
I'm
now?
going to go one.
I felt something weird like a couple minutes ago. Not like anything bad, but not like anything bad.
That's really hard to hear.
Yeah. What you can hear is you can hear Laura say something, and there's a whisper. It says, "Yeah."
I thought it said not bad.
Or not bad? Is that what it is?
Yeah, because
Not
she
bad?
said it wasn't anything bad, and then I thought
Yes.
I heard not bad.
Not bad.
So,
Let's play it again.
I felt something weird like a couple minutes ago. Not like anything bad, but not like anything bad.
it's really hard to hear,
Yeah.
but especially with the way that we're doing that.
Yeah, it's a little tough. Let's see.
No? Okay. Thank you for the information. It's good to know. Yes.
That one's
That's a
good.
pretty good one, yeah.
If you guys notice, you'll hear a female voice in back of the two ladies, and this woman has some kind of accent. Again,
Mhm.
with an accent. This before it was an ambulance barn, it was a fire department. Before a fire department, it was part of
Train
a
station.
train station, right? Yeah, for the New Hartford area, which was a very big train hub. They would actually distribute from there as a center to Waterbury, to Hartford, to Torrington, to Winsted, and it was just like this center hub where there were all these tracks at one time. Really interesting. So from there, it turned into a fire department, then into this ambulance barn, and we think, from some of the evidence, that this could actually be something from when it was a train station.
I mean, something to point out too is a lot of these ones that we have here, you get a voice that's almost just like not mimicking but repeating,
Mm.
part of what was said.
It's almost like
Like
they're,
my sister says, oh, that's good to know, and then you hear another voice saying, good to know.
yeah,
And I want to bring up, because that was during the time we were using the K2 meter,
yes,
asking yes or no questions. And another part in there you hear is my sister saying yes, and that's because we had asked a yes or no question, and it lit up the color for when we asked her yes.
yeah.
And then we got a voice saying good to know after she said that. So there was
It was
you know,
actually, yeah, it was actually confirming that yes, you
Yeah,
did
yeah.
make contact with me.
yeah.
There's some things we're going to do later on once we get all these technical issues set up, and we're going to actually be able to get some, hopefully, eventually get some video feed in with other things, and we can actually pull up some actual video from maybe some of our actual investigations. Just so you know, it does say Supernatural Inc. up there. Hey guys, how are you? Throwing out a card from Supernatural Inc. Investigations. But we are trying to see if we can, start moving this into a better direction as far as production goes. So just hang in there with us. You
Yeah, we may be old, but we're babies at this kind of stuff.
Yeah, we actually need some of the younger generation to help us on this, which we're trying. So we'll see what happens. That one?
What the hell was that?
I don't even know. No, that one's just too quiet. All right, let's try this one.
I thought you pulled out all the good ones.
I thought I did too. All right, let's try this one.
It was just responding. Did you? Oh, someone knocked on the bathroom for Dan?
Yeah, yeah. So I had just gotten out of the bathroom, and I heard someone knock on the door right before I came out. Now, Eric has a funny theory that the voice you hear is saying, "You shit."
Listen, it doesn't like you shit. It sounds like that.
I thought it's saying like, "Yes, sir."
No, listen, it sounds like you shit. Listen.
It could be. I'm not really. I can see where it might be, but I'm just not hearing that. For the record, I didn't shit, but it would have been even funnier if I did.
Yeah, that's what he wants everybody to think he did, right?
Oh, I'd be more than happy to share that information if it were.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
I've got no shame.
Shame is out the door when you gotta poop. This is here's another EVP, and then we'll talk a little bit. But here's another EVP we did actually with Ryan Bingham, who was the former mayor of Torrington. He invited us into one of the old buildings that was on.
You got to remember to find that other one too that you
Oh,
talked
I know,
about.
I know. I'm working on it.
We pulled the ones out we wanted. Did you not open the right folder?
Yeah, I did. Watch. See that one there? And then we have the new lecture one, and then we have everything. But I have this one here. Let me see if I can move this one out. Do-do-do-do-do. So we were talking EVPs tonight, and I do want to go over this one that happened when my family was camping down at Rocky Neck. We decided we wanted to take the kids on a historical jaunt, and decided we would go to Fort Trumbull, which we did go on. Once we went to Fort Trumbull, we were talking to them and asking, geez, you don't ever happen to see anything here, do you? And they said, no, but if you really want to go check out a haunted place, you might want to go check out Fort Griswold. So we said, okay, so we packed the kids up, got some lunch, took over to Fort Griswold, and stepped out of the car. And you're going to hear my youngest daughter, Lindsay, and me talk. I mean, she was just a little girl then. She was probably maybe 8. And, you know, I said, hey, hon, we should go check this out. And you're going to hear Lindsay say something like, oh, she's not listening or she's not watching. And I'm like, yeah. And then you'll hear something almost come up on the wind, and then you'll hear something. And Dan and I will make a joke about this once it's played, but
which one's this?
This one is the Fort Griswold one.
Hey, Miss, I wonder if we can go up there.
So we're not exactly sure what it says. I thought it said a name like Wallen or Walden. My wife said it says Wallet, like it's mugging me. But I actually did some research, and I actually looked up. There was 160 or 165 men that were killed that day in this siege of New London, Connecticut, the burning of New London, Connecticut. And there was a name there that the last name was Waldron.
What's the joke part? Were
The
you
joke-
thinking of a different one?
No, she thought that I was getting mugged, so she actually said it's saying wallet.
Oh, I thought you said that I had a joke about this.
No.
one.
The
Oh.
joke
Miss, I wonder
was.
if we can go up there.
It's eerie.
That one is eerie. This one was the one with.
I think
our
that
foreman.
any skeptic would say it was just the wind.
Yeah, probably. This one was the one with the former mayor, though. This one here.
That's really good. That sounds like it was just someone there talking.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the cage was a tool crib inside the Torrington Company. They used to run everything there from Singer Sewing Machine at one time to Torrington Needle Bearing Company, right up through Standard Company, which made roller bearings and needle bearings for aircraft, and then finally Timken, the great company that came in because of our great president at the time. When he started doing all this foreign trade shit, he actually worked us right out. He took all of our trade out and actually went from us to China, then from China to Finland, and then China got so rich they bought it back from Finland, and now they're making needle bearings for our government, our government equipment in China.
Makes sense.
So yeah, so we went from America to Finland, or from America to China to Finland, back to China, and we're still screwed. So, that's just the way that the society was, I guess, of today. But EVPs could be anything that are so clear that it's a whisper like you hear, to a shout, to a noise, to footsteps, to I don't know what else. What else could it be? Music? Why couldn't it be music, right?
Singing, yeah.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
many
yeah.
ones where you can hear singing.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
It could be anything. They could be growls.
Growls. We've
you
had
know.
some of.
I've actually, in my own home, I had gotten one of an angry person like saying "shut up" like really meanly.
Really.
Yeah.
I'll tell you. You know, out of all the years doing this, I think we were telling a story. I'll just say something about my first one. I think we were talking. You know, when you first start out this and you get an EVP, it scares the crap out of you because you're hoping you get something, but you really hope you don't. You know, because it's kind of spooky when you first get it. Because I was 18 when one of
If
my
it's
first
spooky
ones.
to you, you shouldn't be doing it.
That's right, but it's fun. Which also goes into the paranormal investigator versus a ghost hunter. That is something
Yeah,
that
yeah. That's something that was part of our
Yeah.
show last night.
we all start out as ghost hunters. We want to just have fun and see if there's something out there that's spooky. Then once you get the answers that you're satisfied with, and you, in your mind, you're convinced that there are such things as spirits and ghosts and everything else, which we know there are. But for those who think it's hogwash, you'll always think it's hogwash. But what happens at that point, then you start going from just, thrill seeking to, I wonder how this stuff starts. And then you start doing research, and then you start doing stories, and you start to get, collection of papers and this and that. Danny will tell you, when we first started this out, I used to give out books almost.
Oh, yeah.
There would be these handouts I would come up with. I've definitely slowed down a little bit more from some of that because as we get more educated and we also don't have many meetings much anymore.
But also, too, I mean, we've got smartphones at our fingertips, and we can look up any information we need.
Exactly. So it's, I mean, we've even seen a change from when we first started out
Oh, yeah.
together as well.
Oh, yeah.
So the technology is exploding, and that is something that I did say last night too. It's becoming a young person's world, simply because it's absolutely fascinating when you see these new gadgets coming out. When you have somebody who, I'm just about 50, trying to figure out how the hell to do this. I mean, I'm a little tech savvy, but I'm not by any means a tech genius, that's for sure. Nor do I ever claim to be, but that's why when Dan and Laura joined, they put their 2 cents in and help out with some of the stuff, and now we're both sitting there scratching our head at some of this. But it's EVPs. You should never, do them over and over again in your house.
Yeah,
You shouldn't-
especially not in your house.
You shouldn't do them in your house, just for the simple fact. When you have somebody come in, we come in once, do an investigation, we take a sample, see if we get any EVPs, and we do it once, and then that's it. Maybe twice to do a closing and see if we can help them.
5 times if it's the ambulance barn.
Yeah, or they keep calling us back, right? But the idea is, you don't want to open up something in your home, and that's very important. There's activity in my house. My house was built in the 1890s. There's definitely stuff there. But there's also family, and I've been in that house since I was 3 months old. So, it's more of a comfort to me that I know that the spirits are with me there. You know what I mean? It's my dad's there. I know my dad is there. So the great piece of advice we can give you is, if you really think something's going on in your house, just don't go out and get a voice recorder and start doing that. Start recording stuff left and right. And the reason why I say that is because you're bringing recognition to this. And once you bring recognition to this, then what can happen is this can open up a doorway, and then all this stuff comes in. And if you don't know how to shut it, you're kind of stuck in trouble, and then you call us or whoever is out there that can help you. Which is something that that's fine. I mean, we'll take your business, but the whole idea behind this is to just get some cool recordings and see what you get from them. But it's amazing when you sit there and you're in a room all by yourself. There's no one else in that room, and all of a sudden you got something talking to you. That is a pretty cool thing. Let me see, Danny. Let me see what else we got here.
What was the Moses Dunbar one that you were talking about before that you didn't find right away?
Yeah,
Which one was that?
I'm going to go into this one here. This one is the one where you hear, it sounds like a snort, but you actually hear the door latch open.
Oh, that's right. You were talking about the door latch. Okay.
Yeah, so let me play this. This is going to be just, you'll get it. There's the door latch. Sounds like a pig or like you said, someone passed gas or something. But that was also, again, in that house that was completely empty. Oh, this one we were going to do. This
yeah,
one,
that's a good one.
This one was at our friend Diana's house. Hi, Diana. She runs, her and her sister and family run Fearless Ghost Hunting. And they're great people, Fearless Ghost Hunters. And she was having some activity in her house and called us in, and we went in and spent some time with them, and we got a couple of EVPs that actually, one of them actually really did make us pretty teary-eyed, because she said that this was her mom, and she was able to do that, and her mom's nickname was Yaya. So I want to play that for you.
And it doesn't have any way to bounce back. You're actually capturing something that's there that you're not going to see with your eye. So you guys caught an actual orb. Now, orb does not mean ghost.
Right.
Orb is
An
energy.
anomaly, yeah.
That's
So her nickname was Yaya, and it says, "You caught Yaya." So, the other thing was, we were talking there, and we were having coffee, and we were just chatting after we got that EVP. We decided to play on, and
This is the one where she hears her mother's voice, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That could be an orb. It's not. It's dust. Well, what happens is your camera. If you look at this, you have a flat. Your cam.
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Did that take place in where the mother used to live?
Yeah, she lives there now.
No, the mother.
Yeah.
I thought the mother's passed away.
She did. Yeah.
But I'm saying that's the house she lived in.
Yes.
So they're sitting around there, and maybe mom's complaining that her house is dusty.
Yeah.
That's
exactly.
that's
and her
pretty
name
cool.
is Yaya.
Yeah.
So yes, it was really cool. That really brought some closure to her, though, because at least she knew it was her mom, and it.
Now we got to take her word for it, but she when she heard that, you said that you
Yeah,
actually
we're-
kind of told me a little story
Yeah.
where like her jaw dropped when
Yes.
she heard that one.
Yes.
And she knew right away it was her mother. 'Cause
Yep.
It was her mother's voice.
Yep.
That's
And the yeah as well, because she says when she would get excited,
Well, that didn't sound like the mom saying the you caught yeah.
you caught yeah.
I don't know. That sounded
Well, she
kinda
had
strange.
she said she had a very raspy voice towards the end because she
Really?
had breathing tubes and she had all kinds
okay.
of stuff. So, and Diane actually has a very smoky voice too. So, I mean, it just it was cool because you actually when you see the reaction of the person,
Yeah.
and we had no idea what any of this was going on
That's
at the
really
time.
cool.
So yeah,
It would have been wild to be there for that.
it was that one. Justin was with us.
Oh yeah.
So I think that was when you guys were going like crazy hours, you and your sister. It was right when we formed, because we didn't get Justin until you guys came in. You guys brought Justin in
Yeah.
with you. So it was around the time, but I think you guys were doing like 100 hours back then.
Probably. I remember that was always a hook because you wanted to get me in, and
Yeah.
and it was always like I really can't do it
Yeah,
right now.
yep,
Just
yep.
My schedule was just insane.
It was
at the
insane
time.
because you were doing all kinds of. You were doing like 3 different things at once, I think. So yeah, it was really an eye opener. Let's talk about mimicking. I have one
Okay.
on here that sounds exactly like me. It's not me. You'll hear a couple people talking, and then you're going to hear this voice come up, and it sounds a lot like me. But I can assure you, it was not. So let me play this for you. And if you have any ideas what it says, let me know. Boy, that's quiet.
Yeah, that's gonna be. I don't think that's gonna be picked up. What's the part? I don't even know what the part of the EVP is.
It's that right there, that voice you hear.
Oh.
That's not me.
Oh, I thought that.
No.
I didn't realize that was the EVP.
Yeah.
I thought that was the talking, and then I was waiting to hear an EVP.
No.
Oh, that's the EVP. Wow.
But what the fuck is it saying?
I don't know. Bogart.
That's what I put Bogart the Bayou. I have no idea what that was. I can tell you it sounds like me, but I can
See,
assure
I
you.
thought that was you, and I'm waiting. I'm
Well,
like, all right, which part's the EVP you're
no.
talking about?
That was one of those where this house was strange. Let me explain this to you. It's beautiful. You have a very small colonial salt box house, what they would call. And then from there they added on to like a whole nother house. And then on that house upstairs they added a whole apartment house. This place is never, it's like 4 generations of people have owned it, and since the time when these people bought it, they've renovated from the very first day the house went in their name. And they haven't stopped yet. And this place is, it's almost like the Winchester House.
Winchester
Yeah,
House.
slowly building bigger and bigger and bigger. You know, in the Stephen King Rose Red was the other one. Yeah,
That's
that
a
was
good one.
that was a good one.
That whole Winchester House thing, that's an amazing story. There's like, like doorway, or, like wings that go to nowhere, like doors that open to nothing, just
Creepy.
bizarre stuff. And the reasoning behind that, they said, was to keep the spirits busy, you know, because the myth goes that, like for every person that was shot dead with the Winchester
Came back
gun
to haunt her
or something like
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
It really is. It is quite a fascinating story, whether it's all bullshit or whatever. But interesting fact: she is actually buried in Connecticut, New Haven.
No kidding.
And I'm going to take you to that cemetery. That's a cool cemetery. I think it's called Evergreen Cemetery, and that's also where the legend of Midnight Mary comes from. Bloody Mary, Midnight Mary.
Okay.
Yep, it was from there. Matter of fact, her stone is there, and you can read it's fucking creepy what they wrote. And what the story is in case if you're not familiar with this legend, it was about a young woman who contracted some kind of bacteria disease. They thought she was dead. And this was before embalming and all that other stuff. And, your respirations could get so shallow, right, that you can still be alive. And
Was she buried alive?
buried her alive.
You know that saying "Saved by the Bell"
That's
comes
the
from
ringing.
that?
The ringing bell, yeah, because they used
They
to
would
have a
put it-
string and a
Yeah.
bell up there.
In
Yep.
case they accidentally buried
Yep.
you alive, you
Yep.
could ring the bell.
Yep.
And that's where that saying came from, "Saved by the Bell."
Jeez, I wonder if that's "You Can Ring My Bell." No, that's something else. Yeah, that's something else. Sorry, I'm just dating my age. There is something. This was a Moses Dunbar one as well. This one I think is pretty loud. I think. There's the door. Footsteps. The house was empty. What we thought it might have said, like, what are you doing? But it's so, but that whole thing with the latch, you can hear the door close, you can hear walking and stuff. And it was just a very weird thing. When we got like these EVPs, it took a while because I said, geez, this is all happening within a 40-minute span. And then it hit me. 40 minutes was roughly the time we were out of the house. It was an hour or so we were out of the house. We set everything up, went on break. And through the rest of it, we got a couple things. There's something, I just had a brand new camcorder and was trying to figure it out. And I asked Devin at the time, I said, Devin, can you tell me about this? I said, this light keeps blinking, it's an access door, and it does blink, we know that. And I said, I don't know. He goes, oh, I think that's just for the access door. And then you hear this thing go, X. And that's this one that just says X.
No more about these things tonight. It's got a little access like popping up. No more about these things tonight. just read a little access light kept popping up. I know more about these things than I do. Just read a little
pretty clear.
access light.
That one was obviously with us there, but
I tell you know which one I wish we had?
Access light kept popping up.
We were talking about this last night. Fortunately, we don't have the audio, but when we were joking around at the ambulance barn, and my sister was calling me an asshole, and I go, yeah, I'm an asshole. It's okay, and I said, go ahead, you can call me an asshole, and we go back and listen to the recorder, and right after that's being said, you hear yeah, he is.
and that's something else too. Sometimes EVPs, for some reason, and I don't know why, but sometimes you can go back and listen to them, and they're not there. I don't know. It's a very strange thing. In this same house, Moses Dunbar, we were in the basement. And the basement was originally not a wooden floor. Yeah, that'd be great. Dirt floor. And we were walking around, and one of our EMF detectors was going crazy on a shovel. This thing was blinking like crazy from like an old coal shovel.
Mm-hmm.
And we said, is this and this? Is the little girl here? We're trying to figure out. And there was a little girl voice that came up, and I remember sitting by the Christmas tree, because we had a Christmas tree up, and we were going over the evidence, and I remember I heard it, my niece heard it, and there was somebody else, Devin, I think, heard it, and we isolated it, and we set it to the index.
Mm-hmm.
It was gone.
Really?
Yeah, it was gone, but what was so cool is that 3 of us heard it, but then when we went back, we tried to listen for it, and it just wasn't there.
That's
so.
strange.
It's weird. Of course, that could have also been because it was in my house. Who knows? Maybe we actually heard something that was.
Yeah, maybe.
But yeah, so EVPs, there's all different kinds, like we were saying.
And you know what? Let's just briefly just touch up on like maybe the theories behind it.
Sure.
You may not believe in ghosts or spirits, and maybe some of these things that are being captured have nothing to do with a person that's been passed.
Correct.
Maybe there's some sort of veil between a multiverse or parallel world, and you're
Absolutely.
getting a quick crossover of that.
Absolutely.
That's one way you can look at it.
And the way we look at it is, I kind of look at it that the spirit world is actually in another dimension.
Well, yeah, I do too.
Because to me, it's just enough out of shot where sometimes when it's close enough, you might see something or hear something. Like I said, it's kind of being in the right place at the right time.
A good way to think about, like, kind of being between dimensions is, a tuner or a radio, a radio dial, and kind of like, being in between 2 stations where you can kind of get a glimpse of one, but another.
Exactly.
And sometimes you're on one station, and all of a sudden another station pops through.
Exactly.
Because those frequencies just get caught up sometimes.
I do have a creepy one if it will play. This again was Moses Dunbar, but this time this one is, there's 2 of them here. Let's see. Let's try this one. You probably couldn't hear that. I think it's repeating, I think.
It's 2. You can't really hear
Yeah.
it. And I did hear something.
That one is.
It was a little better. I heard the word nothing, but.
You heard nothing? I heard not with her.
Mm.
Yeah, let's see if I can. Not with her.
I'm not sure. There's clearly something being said. I
Yeah,
just don't know
yeah.
what it is.
Well, and that's the thing too. This is the same house. We had female, we had male, we had all kinds of stuff going on there. So, let me see what else I have here, because I might have something else. Let me see what else I got here.
Asia, don't stand on the keyboard.
Oh, our producer's back. She's giving us heck now. She's saying, I'm going to put you guys to work. Honey. So that's kind of the thing right now is, EVPs are something that you normally wouldn't hear because of some electronic device. It picks up, excuse me, and we're able to get some kind of sound. Now the interesting thing is there's this program called Audacity, which I highly recommend everybody to download.
Yeah, we've used that.
Oh, it's fantastic. It's a totally free audio, I guess editing program would be the right way to put it. But what's great with this is you can actually, try to use certain filters to quiet the back noise down and, boost up the voice. Obviously, it's something that I'm not a sound tech with, or else those would be much better. But for people who know what they're doing, this thing could really, literally write the book on making things super clear and making it, so you could hear it. But the problem is you don't want to also over-edit it, because then it's going to sound fake.
Yeah, I definitely don't want to do that.
I've heard things that...
Even saying the word edit just has a negative connotation, because then people jump to, oh, well,
if you can do that, then you can do this.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's why I try to leave them non-filtered. I just boost them.
Yeah, I think it's good, too, that you leave at least some of the, the in-between conversation.
I try to.
I know it's like on one really good one, but all you hear is the actual EVP, so there's no context to put it in.
Yeah.
It's nice when you can, hear two people talking.
It also helps you cue it up, too.
Yeah,
you can say,
exactly.
oh, that's right, we were talking about this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's the other thing. When you're doing EVPs, make sure you leave at least a good 2 to 3 seconds.
I mean, that's if you're asking questions.
Yeah. You actually want to get the question asked.
Mm.
You wait your 20 seconds, and if you get the EVP, make sure you put all that in there, because if you chop it too much, and I have done this, you're going to find yourself, well, what's that from? I can't remember, but nobody was in the room. Well, that's not going to help the situation much.
And most of these that we played were just happened to be ones that were picked up. They weren't, a lot of them weren't from times where we were asking questions, pausing, although we have many of those as well.
Yes, we do. And that's the thing, we try to do a small sample, so that way you guys don't get bored and we kind of get our point out.
Hopefully the audio picked it up well enough.
I'm hoping.
We tested one out and it sounded okay enough.
Yeah.
So aside from the ones that were a little too soft and quiet, those might be real tough to hear. But even if a couple of them sounded pretty good, I'm happy enough.
Well, the thing is too is it's hard because we're trying to do stuff where we're going to do stuff directly into the computer, so you'll hear it perfect. But
that didn't work.
Yeah, of course not. That's the biggest problem with doing things on a shoestring budget.
I tell you what, when we wrap this up and this show didn't save,
computer's going out the window, huh?
I might super kick it.
Thank God it's a tough book. It's going to need to be, right?
It better be tough. 'Cause, we're going to have to go out for some fresh air.
I think what we're going to have to do is go out and gauge it. 12 gauge it. Well, guys, we hope we didn't bore you.
Too much.
This show we recorded last night was actually really hilarious.
We had such a good time with it.
And
we were cracking jokes left and right. We were off topic a lot too. We went off on a few rants that were just ridiculous.
Yeah, it was something. You got to understand, when I came here, my back was killing me. I could barely walk, and I had to cancel lunch with a friend of mine, Rick. I'm so sorry. I was feeling like crap, and I came up here, and we just started pounding coffee, and started pounding soda, and then so we were kind of getting a caffeine rush that was hilarious.
Yeah.
And of course, it doesn't help when you watch YouTube and we're laughing at all those videos before, because it really puts you in a good mood.
Yeah.
But we hope that we can put a smile on some of your faces and at least give you some information, or at least just have a fun ride with us. And if anything, maybe go, those two jerks are kind of funny. I want to see what they're going to do next week. So.
Yeah, for me, I mean, this is fun for me.
Absolutely.
It's doing something different. I've never done stuff like this before.
No.
And
well, when we first thought of it, I'm like, what do you think we do a podcast? Yeah, we'll give it a shot. So I said, all right. So me and Dan were talking. I'm like, I'm going to buy the equipment. He goes, yeah. I said, yeah, why not? I says, it's not very expensive. I said, we'll get it. We'll set it up at the house, at your house, and we'll have it working. And you know what? It's not bad for the price that we paid. Obviously, we got some
Exactly,
things we got to work out.
Oh, yeah.
A better computer is
It's
going
a
to be
learning
a world of
process,
difference.
you know.
And maybe get some direct Wi-Fi. We'll figure that out.
Yeah, it'll all come together. And what's cool too is, you know, I mean, we have a lot of material we can use just from like all the
Absolutely.
experience we had. Plus, you know, the previous shows we talked about a bunch of different
Absolutely.
topics. We're gonna have a bunch more topics coming up. But also with you know, with our shows and lectures and things,
Absolutely.
it's just gonna add to the stuff that we have to talk about. So
Yeah, now that's something
know?
else I do want to bring up. We do have a couple of lectures coming up. We actually have one lecture coming up that's going to be with Karen Kilmartin, a very famous medium that's in this area. She has psychic abilities. We go through and talk the difference between what is the difference between a psychic and a medium, as well as spirits, souls, and for the layman, ghosts, which is you know, another terminology we use, or entity, or astral spirits, or whatever. So we're gonna
semantics.
yeah. So we're definitely gonna be touching base with that. So look forward to a show coming up very soon with Karen, as well as I think we're gonna do a show with Karen.
Yeah, that's gonna be October 27th
Yup.
at the Black Cat
Yup.
in New Britain.
In New Britain, and I
Yep.
believe it's a bookstore, and there will be more specific time and stuff coming up. We do have to meet with her this week to go over exact time and it's going to be kind of like a two-spin lecture. Danny's going to be there, and Danny's going to be like a mediator between the two of us, and we're going to all ask questions together, and then take Q&A from the crowd. It's going to just be a really fun time. I think.
And I believe she's going to do some readings.
I believe
afterward.
so, yeah, which is a great, and that's a really nice special gift for you guys. You know,
That's what everyone wants to see.
Yeah,
No
yeah.
one wants to hear us yap.
not really, no. Yeah, I wouldn't pay to go see us, but I'd definitely go pay to see her. So, you know, with that being said, we do have a couple things coming up with Karen. Do check out her page as well, and check out her Facebook videos. She's actually doing live readings on Facebook.
Yep,
How cool is that?
That's real cool.
I mean, we can't even get our video up, and she's doing actual. I mean, wow, good for you, hon. So yeah, we're very excited about this, and it's kind of nice to see some of us smaller groups kind of getting together and working with Karen, who's really just becoming really famous very fast, which I'm very proud and very happy for her. So please look forward to that. We also do have one coming up at the Torrington Library.
Yes.
That is also in October. I believe we're on their
That's a
calendar.
lecture. That's a lecture we're doing.
Yeah,
right?
that's a
Okay.
lecture that we're doing. Karen, I don't know if she's going to come to visit for that. I know that she's been very busy, but that was a lecture that we scheduled before we started talking with Karen as far as doing schedules together. But from this point forward, we're going to try to see if we can do some stuff together. We just got through doing a house cleansing,
Yep.
which was exhausting for all of us,
Yes.
which really makes you very tired. But yeah, so we got some great things coming up. Now next week, we want to turn this into the Conspiracy Files.
Ooh.
Yes, so we want to talk about everything from everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's going to fill up a lot of time.
Well, yeah, that might be.
So we're going to have to do it one of a couple ways.
All right.
We could just spend you know, a few minutes, you know, 10 minutes, so you know, talking about, you know, a certain conspiracy. Or if you really want to get in depth on some of them, you know, we could tackle a few of them.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know.
And I do.
Or what we can do is focus on a couple that
Sure.
we're really interested in,
Sure.
give it some extra time,
Sure.
and then just kind of go over briefly some other ones. I think we could do it like that.
I think that would be nice. And maybe my opinion, your opinion, and maybe
Sure.
if we do this live, we can get some folks from Facebook to chime in and see what they think too. That might be fun.
That would be cool.
And that would be more of a video instead of just our business card. But for all of you, that's our business card. We're Supernatural Inc. If you have any questions, feel free to check us out. We are on Facebook as well as www.supernatural-inc.com. We also have a Facebook page as well, Supernatural Inc. Investigations Facebook page, which Danny's been fantastic keeping up on. I have not been on Facebook as much as I should be. I just got kind of tired of the hoopla, but Danny's been doing a fantastic job. everything you see on Facebook is either Danny, my wife, or Laura. So a lot of this stuff that you see coming up in the advertisements and all that great stuff, the PR stuff is really being handled very well by Danny, my wife, and
You're
Laura.
being generous.
No, it's true though, because I haven't been on much, and I kind of got scolded by some friends, like, where the hell you been? But I'm just not, I think the newness wore off. I think I might actually go towards the Twitter thing, where I can kind of, maybe we post this out there too, and get in touch with that. My daughter wants me to get into Instagram. When I first started trying to get into this, there was
messed
an
around with it a little bit, but I lost interest.
It's so
quick.
confusing. Because
There's
all of
too
them are
much of
so
these.
much the same, but yet so different, and then you get confused. Well, that's not.
Well,
Well,
it's
that's
like,
the other one.
You think about it this way. Instagram is mostly pictures.
Yeah.
Twitter
yeah,
is
yeah.
mostly just like
Phrases.
status updates,
Yeah,
kind of.
yeah.
Facebook kind of combines them both.
The trouble is, though, is I think there's just been so much. Well, that's for the conspiracy theory for next week. We'll go into some Facebook conspiracies.
There we go.
So we may not be able to do Facebook Live next week, and you may not find us on Facebook anymore.
That's not true.
But but yeah, so we're gonna do a conspiracy show, and I think it'll be a lot of fun.
I
It's
can
a
tell
little.
you what conspiracy I'm not going to talk about.
I got one great. You want to know what mine is?
Let me guess.
The Earth is round.
Yes.
We are global people.
Yeah.
I am not a flat person.
Yeah, we're globetards.
Globetards.
Yeah. I'm a round earth shill.
Oh, that's my bad whistling. Yes, I also whistle out of tune as well as sing out of tune. But with that being said, folks, we hope you had a really good time tonight. We had a good time talking. Yeah, I know you didn't see us because we're doing more of a web cast instead of a video cast at this point until we get the video stuff straightened out. So we're going to do some things, occasionally we might pop up some pictures like we did for...
with the Sumerian tablets.
Oh, that was a fantastic show,
Yeah,
man.
that came out good. I was
I
happy
couldn't
with
add
that.
anything to it because I was just blown away by it. But I got to tell you, that was so... And you know what? It was very educational, and it's actually making me want to get books and do some more studying on them because I was fascinated by everything.
And it's amazing
It's
that
just
this is a civilization that history, says yes, these people were here. They're considered the first civilization
Exactly.
that we've had, which I don't agree with. And when you go to school, you maybe learn like one sentence about them, that's a conspiracy in itself.
It's really sad too because when you think about it, it's really not something to forget about. It's something to join in with the history we already know, and if that's going to help us understand better what happened in the future.
Yeah.
I mean, that could be the missing key everybody always talks about.
Could be.
But you know what? This was a nice show, and I want to
Yeah,
thank you, Dan,
a little
for
change of pace. Too.
putting up with all the BS that's
no
been
problem.
happening lately. So.
Hey, look, if we weren't having fun doing it, that'd be one thing.
That's right.
But we're having
That's
fun
right.
while we do it. So.
Absolutely. And don't forget, if you like us or want to comment or talk about some upcoming shows or give us some ideas about upcoming shows, we're totally open to that.
Hey, I'll be satisfied if people just watch this.
I gotta say,
or listen to it.
I gotta say, we are an underground success. 15 now?
Something like that. Yeah.
I keep saying 17. He's like, no, I think it's 50. I'm like, would you let me have my dream? We're not talking 1,000 people or even 1,700. We're talking 17. But we have a good 17. They're a strong 17, man. You know what I mean? But thank you guys very much. As always, God bless.
Have a great night. We'll see you guys next week.
Always look up and never stop asking questions. And remember, only we can seek out the truth.
Really? Just we?
Just we.